Welcome to today's Audit Talk. I'm your host Asrina Johara Bibi for today's panel discussion. The panel discussion is on commencing the audit at Tex Berhad, which is a toy manufacturing company. Please welcome our senior auditor, Mr. Akram Sheikh. He studied in London University. He did his PhD in business, London University, with the experience of 30 years. Now moving on to our senior auditor, senior forensic auditor, Mr. Sajid Buso. He has studied in Sunway University from Malaysia and with the experience of 25 years. Now moving on to my left. To my left, Mr. Abdul Haq. He is our new intern. He just recently joined the company, and he's also part of this project. And lastly, last but not the least, I would like you to introduce Muhammad Afraz. He did his undergraduate in Nilai University, and he's a junior auditor, and he's also part of this project. So, to start this panel discussion, I would like to ask question from Dr. Akram Sheikh. So, Dr. Akram Sheikh, what are the sources of information you think that will give you an idea about the business and also about the audit, about our audit work?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate to be here today. Actually, sources, we have a variety of sources. Among the sources, we have management inquiries. And in this management inquiry, it's like when we have a discussion, this discussion involves the management and the auditor, and this is the starting point actually. In this case, the auditor needs to inquire about the business itself and how the internal control is being run and all that stuff involved with the management. Secondly, we have the observation part. And this observation is actually involved with physically going to assess and see the premises, the inventories, the assets of the business, so as to ascertain them, the things which are there within the business. Thirdly, we have the review of clients' budgets and the other relevant documents. Here, the important thing is to check the client's budget so as to know if the business can achieve what it has made. If it can achieve its goals within the specific time in that period. Thirdly, we have fourthly, we have the review important debt, governance and board of directors minutes. Actually, in this case, it is important for the auditor to know the legal, debt governance within the business, so as how it can easily pay them. And as for the minutes, the board minutes is very important so as to assess and know what are the important things discussed within the business and how much have been achieved. Lastly, discussion with the previous auditor is also very important because this will give you the real figure and the real picture of the business as our previous auditor has more experience within the company. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Akram.
Thank you.
Now moving on to our second speaker, I would like to ask that in order to commence this audit, this called as preliminary analysis. So would you like to tell our audience more on this, what this preliminary analysis is, and how is it important to our auditors?
Okay, thank you very much, moderator, for giving me this opportunity to speak some few words on the preliminary analysis process. As you all know, international auditing standards of 520 clearly define what is a preliminary analytical procedure. It is simply an analysis of significant ratios and trends, and including the resulting investigation of fluctuations and relationships that are inconsistent with the information that you have received for the audit purpose. So basically there are two kinds of preliminary analysis, which is based on comparison and which is based on relationships. So when it comes to comparison, where the audit will compare the financial information with the previous years or the past years financial information, together with the budgeted and forecasted financial information and predicted estimates, and most importantly with the industrial ratios. And when it comes to relationship, it is more towards the element of financial information which are expected to adhere, to follow by the company during a calendar year or a financial year. And also a comparison between financial and non-financial information. The second question from you was related to why preliminary analysis is important for
Auditors.
for auditors. Basically, preliminary analysis is done in order to in order to gather information related to business. Sometimes an auditing company might not have information about certain industries. So
Yeah.
this will help the auditing firm to gather information that are relevant for auditing. And the second most important part is it also helps you to identify the risk involved when you do the preliminary analysis, such as like ratio analysis. And the third one is when you do the preliminary analysis, it is easy for the auditing company to identify or to determine in the nature and the time and also the extent of audit works that are needed to be done.
Okay. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you, Mr. Abdul Haq, for a very informative information about preliminary procedures. Thank you very much. So let's hear something from Mr. Afraz, the junior auditor of Delight. So Mr. Afraz, while doing preliminary analytical testings, will you explain the problems you find in the financial statements, like regarding material misstatements and other problems that we can encounter in like auditing?
Thank you, moderator. First of all, I would like to tell that according based on the ratio analysis, I could find that there are problems in financial performance and financial positions. So, if you look on the return on equity of the company, it's significantly decreased compared to the 2012. From 2012 to 2014, it's significantly decreased. So, it means that the company has a problem of profitability problem. So, it will affect their future investment.
Yeah.
Also, if you look on the return on assets, it also significantly decreased compared to 2012. In 2014, it decreased significantly. So it also shows that the company has a poor management regarding the assets in order to generate their profit. Also, their current, if you look on their current ratio, that one is like slightly decreased compared to 2012. Slightly decreased. It means that they don't have enough assets to pay their short-term payables.
Okay. So,
Or
are you saying that the company is not able to pay their debts
Yeah, it
because
was,
there's shortage of cash?
in 2014, when compared with 2012, it's got slightly decreased their short-term
right?
assets. Also, if you look on the net profit margin of the company,
Yeah.
that one that one also significantly decreased compared to 2012. So it means that we can say that the company value decreased compared to 2012. Company value decreased. Also, we can say that they don't have enough money to invest in future.
They don't have enough money to invest in future. So this generally tells and gives an idea on the company that tax Berhad, the company's financial performance is not too well.
Yeah,
I mean the company is not
it
performing
seems
very
like
well.
very poor compared with the previous years.
Or comparing with the previous years, that means previously the companies were
Previously
doing
it
very
was,
good, but now
was
the performance is declining. Thank you very much, Mr. Afras,
Welcome.
information. So let's hear something from our fourth speaker. So, Mr. Sajid, as you are also part of this audit project, what are the main issues you have encountered in this project? Like, if you see this business in a very broad perspective, what do you think that the main issues, like very precisely main issues that have affected and caused these problems?
Okay. Thank you very much, moderator. And from the brief conversation we had with one of the management person from Tax Berhad, what we found was there was some issues. And the first most important issue is the company was maintaining a policy to have a debt to equity ratio of 2:1.
Okay.
And until 2013, they were quite successful to maintain that level. But in the current year, 2014, they were almost there, like they had 2.1:1, but they failed to maintain the level 2:1. So this is a considering issue. And this gives concern to the shareholders, saying that the company is incurring more debt slowly. So this means there's a danger in the solvency, the long-term maintenance of the company, existence of the company, and also this gives debtors a concern, because relating another ratio what we calculated was time interest earned. It also has decreased from 6.3 times to 3.2 in 2013.
Oh, okay.
This also says the creditors now we have less times to earn our interest. So this also gives places a red button to the creditors, saying that now this company is getting slowly quite dangerous, that we are in quite risk. And another very important point is the company has maintained or allocated obsolete inventories of 20% until 2013, and then they suddenly decreased it to 10% in 2014. And when we interacted with the management team, they said a quite reliable percentage was 5%. So there is a very big fluctuation between the percentage during these 3 years. So from our experience, from our what we have done so far, we found that most of our clients, they play their game where they manipulate their things. Mainly one area is inventories, because it's quite difficult to evaluate when it comes to different sectors. That is one point. And also obsolete inventories. This might be because they have delivered the goods late, so the customers has returned, and because of this they might incur financial losses, and this also will affect their reputation. And the last final point briefly, the company has given a loan to another company which is owned by one of the directors. They have the interesting point is, even though they are having a liquidity problem, they have increased their loan. So this is also has to be really looking with scrutiny. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, in order to sum up this our audit talk, what we have came to know from our professionals is Mr. Sajid has contributed on the main issues of the problems of the business, as Mr. Abdul Haq and Afraz has commented on the preliminary analytical procedures of this audit work. Overall, what we can say is that the financial and of course, and the sources of the informations which we got as an evidence. Overall, what we can comment on this is that the business financial health is performance is not good. So I want to thank all of my panelists here. Thank you very much for contributing your ideas and your hard workings in this audit, and thanks for giving our audience a great information on this audit talk. Thank you very much.